Hi guys, it's Lanikia, and I am coming to you with Manifest Season 1, Episode 6, called Off Radar. So this was a really good episode, and I'm a little late, I've been on and off, but I'm really a little bit late because my internet, finally, I got it worked on after days of missed appointments. Not missed appointments, they just not coming out when they were supposed to come out. Finally, it is fixed, and I'm back online. Okay, so this is about this episode is pretty much about Cal. And so Cal is sick on this episode, and they're trying to find out what's wrong with him because it's not his cancer acting up or anything, but he's running this fever and he's talking in this language that they don't understand. So that's how it starts off with Cal. It starts off with Cal sees a man and he rubs Cal on his head, but he's asking, help me, help me. And so no one could understand his language with this one woman who happened to be on the plane, and she was a translator. And so she could understand, and so she was going to help him. And it shows that they were on the plane, and Cal, that's how Cal was introduced to the man. So then we see where Cal is in his home in the bed, and he wakes up speaking the language that the man was speaking on the plane. So then he's in a fever and they're scared for him. Grace still doesn't know about all the visions and them hearing things, so she has no idea what's going on. But Ben and Michaela look at each other because they know this probably has something to do with all the visions and everything. So that's that. So then, while he has this high fever, he just keeps talking about somebody's hurting him. He talks about a red door. They're at the red door, and he's just saying all of this. So then we go to Dr. Haskin, who is on the panel, and he's pretty much saying, we don't know we don't know what happened. We have no idea what's going on. We have no idea what happened. It could be anything. And so then, because we just have no clue what's going on. So then we go to Vance, who is just like, all these government, all these people, no one knows, no one's talking to him, they're not giving him information, but they want all of his information. So he's like, no, we're not going to tell him that we have Jared that's going to work for us on the inside. And it's like all these government officials should be working with each other to find out what happened. But it's like they're trying to cover it up so much, and no department is trusting the other one, so they're not talking. So then we show that Grace, Grace, Sanvi, the Dr. Williams, and Ben are in the hospital with Cal, and they're debating on, the treatment and everything, and they're like, we can't give him antibiotics, because if we give him antibiotics, he'll be out of this cancer treatment that we fought hard to get him in. So when they leave out, Grace goes to talk to Dr. Williams when she leaves, which leaves Sanvi and Ben in the room, and Grace tells Dr. Williams that what if Sanvi's treatment isn't helping, isn't helping Cal and everything. So I don't know. Grace is just trying to find answers to the problem. I don't know, y'all. I was kind of sick of Grace this episode. She got on my nerves this episode, but we'll keep going. So then Sanvi and Ben are talking, and as they're speaking, because they know this has something to do with what's going on the plane, as they're speaking, Cal has another episode, and he's once again speaking in that language, and Sanvi realizes that she knows the language, and someone in the plane actually translated for the gentleman, and they find out his name was Marco, and the woman that translated for him, his name was Anna. So Michaela, Ben, and Sanvi are talking, and that's when they, find out it's Marco and Anna and everything, because Ben has really been trying to find all the passengers on the plane, and he hasn't been able to come up with the 11 of them. So he tells, of course, Ben can't really leave because he's in the hospital with his son. Sorry, my wig, I can feel my wig slipping back. So he's in the hospital with his son. So Michaela's on duty to go and find him, and Sanvi can't do anything because, she's trying to help Cal. So it's up to Michaela to go and find out what's going on with Anna, and and to try to find Marco, because they can't find Marco, and there's 10 other people that they can't find, so 11 in all. So Grace finds Anna. She's living in a hotel. Anna said her husband, as soon as she got off that plane, she got served with divorce papers. So he wasn't playing no games. Because I've been saying this whole time, like, gosh, like, Grace knows she's still in love with Danny. So I don't know why she just won't tell Ben, like, she's confused, or just take a break and find out which one she loves. And Jared married Lourdes and whatever, even though he's still in love with Grace. But apparently Anna's husband had he was like, sis, I moved on. So he gave her those papers, in which it makes you wonder how their marriage was before. I wish they would, because they go into everyone's story, but they didn't really go into hers. I wish they would have went a little bit, but maybe they'll do that at a later date, since she's a translator. And I don't know how they're going to play that into it, but I hope she's just not for this storyline, because she didn't have much of a storyline, but she did give a lot of information. So she tells Grace that Marco got on a bus. There were 5 buses, and Grace was like, no, there were 4. And she was like, no, there were 5, because he got on a bus and I had to help him. She said it was him and some other people. So they find out that the people on the bus were people that people were not gonna miss. They were people from different countries that had no family, things like of that nature. So, and they found out the government is probably they know that bus is missing, and then they didn't put it on there, and so they're like, well, what are they doing to the people on the bus? So then Ben tells so Grace is freaking out, and so Ben finally breaks down and tells Grace about everything that they've been experiencing since they've come home. And so Grace, she freaks out. She's just thinking about, like, the last time Ben was chasing a rabbit hole trying to find a cure, and that's why their marriage was kind of rocky before he left and everything. So she doesn't want that to happen again. I told y'all Grace got on my nerves this episode. Like, even when I think about her, it just makes me want to lullaby to sleep. Like, she just got on my nerves that bad this episode. Even though this was a really great episode. And I like her as an actress. And that's probably why she got on my nerves, because she's acting her part so very well. But anyways, so Ben finally tells her, and she doesn't want to hear it. She's like, she knows that weird stuff is going on and everything, but Ben is a doctor. She needs him to use, she needs him in the present with medicines and all that kind of stuff. She don't want to hear about all the weirdness and everything. So then we see where Jared is pretty much telling Michaela, that if you can't, he told her early in the episode, if you can't tell me everything that's going on, then don't tell me, he's out of it, is what he's pretty much saying. He's out of it because Grace is doing some weird, he saw her with the woman, and they were looking at the apartment database because Grace had called in a sick day because Cal was sick. Well, then she had to go to work because Ben can't help, so she's having to do the groundwork and use her resources in the apartment to find, and that's how they found out that there were only 4 buses that the government had listed, because she told the woman Anna, and Anna was like, no, there was 5. So anyways, just to catch up, and in case I missed that, so Jared catches her doing this. He doesn't know what she's doing, but he catches her doing something. She won't tell him what it is, so he's just like, keep me out of it. Well, now then she knows that there's only 4 buses and everything, that there was a 5th bus. She tells Ben, and Ben is like, he gives her a place where all of the locations, like the houses and stuff, the government would use. And he says, you need to go take Jared and find it. And she was like, I don't know if I can do that, because, Jared is pretty much like, leave me out of it. But he tells her, you don't have a choice, because this is about Cal and us and everything. But right now it's about Cal, so you have to. So she goes to Jared, and he doesn't want to help at first. And so she kind of tells him what's going on, and she was like, I really can't tell you what's going on, because they really don't understand everything themselves. But so he agrees to go with her. So they drive out to this place, and they do their little flirting thing they have them do every episode. This time it was about an old playlist he had. So they drive out to this place, and they're like, whoa, this is heavily guarded, or whatever. And it was. And so Michaela puts a flat in their tire, and Jared's like, what are you doing? And she was like, So she puts a flat in the tire just to do it as a decoy and everything. And so the people come out and they're like, what are you doing out here? This is restricted, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, oh, we got a flat tire. So they fix the tire and then they're driving it. And she tells Jared to slow down. And she takes a picture because she sees the red door and she sees a woman, a patient. And she was like, so then later on, Jared stops and he's like, what is going on, Grace? I'm just going to finish their storyline up. He's like, what is going on, Grace? Grace, why do I call her that? Michaela. And she's like, what's going on? I can't tell you. I just know whatever that is back there is connected to why Cal is sick. And so she lets him in on everything, like the visions and everything. And he doesn't believe she's crazy or anything. He's just like, you could have told me, I would have helped you. Like, I can help you. So I guess he's in now. But I don't know what he's going to do because, you know, Vance wants him to give all that information up about Michaela. So Vance wants him to give all that information up. And so I don't know what he's going to do now, Jared. But anyways, that was pretty much it with them. Besides him just not understanding what he's gonna do, because he still has like an old picture thing of Michaela's mom and Michaela, and I'm like, what are you still doing with that? I mean, I understand that was his fiance and everything, and he was married to her, and I understand that, but you're married now, so I don't understand. I don't get why he still has that. But anyways, let's move. So that was the end of Jared, really, and Grace and everything. They just don't know what's going on. So Grace sends the picture to Ben of the red door and all of that. Now, keep in mind the whole time Cal has been having episodes saying like, hurry. They got the translator on the tablet, and he's saying like, hurry. So everything that Marco's experiencing, because we find out the government is doing like experiments and everything on the patients, the 11 that they were missing that went on that bus. I guess because Marco had touched Cal, that they're trying to say that's how he's able to see it through. He's feeling what Marco is feeling and everything, and that's why he's saying what Marco is saying and everything. So, they're working on Marco a lot because they're like, he's not reacting the way the others react, and it could be because he's connected to Cal, and that's why he's not reacting the way the other ones is, because he has that connection to Cal, which I think Cal is something special in all of this whole big thing. I guess they're setting us up for that. So Ben is like, he's talking to Grace again, and she's just going on again about how she needs him there, she needs him present, they're wanting to do antibiotics on, they're wanting to give Cal antibiotics. But they're saying he can't get the antibiotics because if he does, he's going to be knocked out of the treatment for the cancer. And that defeats the whole purpose. So anyways, Grace is just upset with him about it. And he's like, give me 1 hour because I know someone that could possibly help. So Grace is just like, fine, just go. So he goes to Vance. Detective Vance. I think he's a detective, or I don't know. But anyways, he goes to Vance and he's like telling him all this stuff, like about, I know you took Kelly's body. I know there were 5 buses and you just said there was 4. He's like giving all this information, trying to get Vance to help him. Vance doesn't know what's going on, and I'm like, Vance, you know what he's talking about. And Vance is looking at him like he's crazy, and the guy beside Vance, like, what happened to the woman, y'all? Remember at the beginning there was a woman who was working with Vance? Like, they just got rid of her and didn't tell us anything. Maybe they did and I just wasn't paying attention, but I don't think so, because all of a sudden this new guy's come and he's working with Vance all the time. So I'm like, what happened to the woman? Anyways, so Ben is just like, you stop whatever you're doing to Marco because it's affecting Cal or whatever. So Ben leaves and Vance is like, what in the world? And the man, the other man that was talking to Vance, that works with Vance, he's like, you believe all that? And Vance was like, well, nobody's telling us anything, so look into it. Ask them about the 11 passengers, you know. So they're going to the other departments to ask them about the 11 passengers. It turns out, because I'm just going to say with their storyline. So it turns out that they tell him, oh yeah, there was 11 passengers, and this is what they said they did with them. And Vance is just like, I don't believe it. And the other guy, he's just like, well, why would they, like, I don't know what he's thinking. So Vance is like, let's take a ride, because Michaela found this door or whatever. So, and he says that passenger looks like the passenger that it's a blurry picture that Michaela took, but that looks like the picture of the woman right here. So how could she be there if she's at this red door that Michaela found? So they go out to the property, Vance and the other gentleman, and they're looking around, and he said, I told you it was nothing. So Vance just keeps looking, because he was like, I've had to cover up things. I had to make it look like we weren't here, and this is what it would look like. But so they keep looking, and they find a marker, like a band-aid, you know, one of those round band-aids you put on. They found a band-aid, and he was like, oh, it's fresh blood or whatever. So now that they know, no, those patients were here. So there's a whole nother government thing going on that Vance has no idea what it's about. But they do know that he has no idea. So that's it with Vance. Him just trying to find out like what is going on. So I don't know if he's a good guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I don't know. I don't know if he even needs Jared like that anymore about Michaela, because Ben just pretty much told him everything. And I don't know if they should work together. Y'all tell me what you think. So then we go to Grace, who has a little mini breakdown because Ben is not there, and she's worried about Cal, and Cal is having a seizure, and she wants to give him the antibiotics, and Sanvi is like, no, Grace, let Ben do what he has to do. We can't give him the antibiotics, because he will not be able to have if like his cancer comes back, he won't be one of the recipients being able, you know, he won't be able to be in the program and everything. So they talk her down off the ledge. He stops having a seizure, but he stops having the seizure because the people got tipped off that Ben knowed about that Michaela and Ben, they got tipped off about that their location was compromised, so they moved their location. So Cal is still going to have the seizures because Marco, they're not done working with Marco. They're going to start the program back up and everything. So I don't know. That's the way that one went. So then, excuse me. So then we find out that so then Ben comes back, and he's doing more research, and he says UDS. I think it was Unified. It was, I should have wrote it down. All I wrote down was UDS. But anyways, it's this company buying up everything. Like everything that has to do with the passengers and everything. They're just buying it up. And so they're like, whatever is the secret, we need to follow this trail. So Michaela, and Sanvi are going to follow that trail. Cal's fever broke, so he's looking better. But we all know that they're going to just work on him again. So he's probably going to have more episodes just being connected to Marco. So that was pretty much the episode. I don't know why this episode was so much better than the other ones. I guess because it was drama, just trying to figure out what was going on with the government. It's like you're starting to finally uncover secrets. And we know Vance don't know nothing. So like the whole time I'm like, oh, I can't stand him, he's such a bad guy, I can't stand. But he really doesn't know what's going, like he's trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. So I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. At the end of this episode, he was looking kind of good. Because at least he's not experimenting on the people. So we know that he's not the one that took Kelly's body. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. I like the episode much better than all of the other ones. I'm about to watch the next episode. That's how much I loved it. Because I'm one episode behind. So I missed Monday's episode because I ain't have no internet. So I missed Monday's episode. So I'm about to watch that now and probably do a video. No, I might watch it today. I might watch it tomorrow. I might watch it tomorrow just so I won't drop 2 manifest videos today. Plus, I need to catch up on some other stuff. Plus, I need to catch up on work because I have not been able to work with no internet. So, probably tomorrow. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You tell me what you think. I like it. It's a good. It's finally starting to tie to get, because the other episodes it was like, it didn't make sense. It was like, why is Vance seeming so lost, but he's doing all this stuff? Why does he care what Michaela knows? But now it makes sense because he really doesn't know what's going on. He had no clue Kelly's body. And then it makes you wonder, how could he not know that? Because Michaela, Ben, and Sanvi are finding this out. How is Vance not finding this out? And he has more power than them. So I don't know, y'all. But it's a good. It was good. I'm enjoying it, and I'm about to do something else. But anyways, have a great rest of your day. And I'll talk to you later.